Good morning. My name is Amichai Lau-Lavie. I'm here with my very elegant partner, Shira Klein, dressed for the day, many other friends from Lab Shul, from the Contemplative Zen Care Center, from here in Judson, friends in faith, friends in hope, friends in community. We've been marching together on a whole bunch for good reasons in the past few years. We marched together last year for Pride. We're together for the Women's March. It's good to come together as community. 2 years ago, we stood on the steps of Judson together on the day when we heard the news about the shooting in Orlando. And there too, our communities and many other communities came together in pride, with rage, with sorrow, vowing to be together when we need to, and to rise together as we can. So we'd like to together share the hymn that we all sang together that day on the stairs outside with the words from the Psalms about sowing in tears but reaping in joy. And please join us as you know it. Who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap with joy. Those who sow those in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. Who sow in tears will reap in joy. So a word about tears and a word about joy. I don't usually plan my sermons. I don't have a title, but my brother, Reverend Micah, put sodomy and sainthood in the thing under our name, so I'm going to stick to the intention that I may have said to him on a phone call. Did I? So a word about tears and a word about joy. On this day, we're just walking here from my home a few blocks from here, and people are excited with flags. Not a privilege to be taken for granted on this 49th year since Stonewall, with so much going on in the world that demands our attention. Yes, with pride and every rainbow tchotchke we can get our hands on, but with the intentionality of getting us to the harvest of joy worldwide. A word about Sodom and sodomy. There's a story in the Bible. So many of us are bruised by the Bible. And you'd go back to that beloved, complicated canon to find the stories that will give us meaning. This story is about a family that that became immigrants overnight, refugees, in fact. Father and mother, two of their daughters, flee their home before dawn as their city is about to be blitzed by fire from above as punishment for that city's transgression. The mother turns to look back at the burning city with love and fear and nostalgia and turns into a pillar of salt. What sometimes happens to us when we're paralyzed by the past, unable to be in the present and see the future. Her husband and two daughters quickly acclimate to the status of refugees, find refuge, try and build their lives. They are the refugees, the only ones to survive the destruction of the city of Sodom in chapter 19 of Genesis. And the city of Sodom is destroyed by Adonai, by that angry God of Genesis, for the many crimes of Sodom that are not specified in the biblical text. But in generations later, by the prophet Ezekiel, in the words of the New Testament, by scholars and commentaries, it is pretty clear that the crime of Sodom, what made Sodomites Sodomites, is the lack of hospitality. Josephus writes that the Sodomites hated strangers. They were wealthy. They had everything they need. When people came asking for food, for shelter, for an overnight roof, they were turned away, or worse, punished and killed. That is the story of Sodom. And in later generations, as more misogynistic, patriarchal, homophobic, you name it, readings of sacred took over, sodomy became non-procreative sex. Sodomy became what may have happened in those verses in Genesis, where Lot and his family, who hosted these three messengers, who may or may not have been angels, at some point refused to let those guests over to the Sodomites, who did not want guests, and yet there may have been a hint there of something that may have been related to what may have been rape, or even anal sex. But Lot refused to hand over his guests. May have agreed to do so to his daughters. We'll leave that aside for a moment. It's a complicated story for a longer coffee clutch. But the fact is, the crime of Sodom is the lack of hospitality, the hatred of strangers. And readers later on took it to become the kind of name I received when I was 17 years old and walked down the street in Jerusalem and someone said to me, "You're sodomite." I don't even know what he means. I had to go look it up. This is pre-Wikipedia. It took a while. So on this day, when our country is Sodom, we are sodomites. And while we are resisting and responding and rising to the challenge when this country is putting people in camps and still breaking families and turning seekers away, how do we talk back, resist, and how do we take sodomy to charge, to task? How do we fight back, reclaim this bruised Bible with knowledge, with compassion, with empathy, with courage? How do we talk back? Well, we're doing so right now. Whether you're sitting here because you're a Judson member or maybe part of Lab Shul, you just heard about this, you're part of any of the communities, the millions who will be there outside today are all here to resist. To be proud of who we are, as we are, who we are, and to make this country again proud of what it is, what it should be. Sodom is a story, and we can tell a better version of it. We need every saint, dead and alive, queer and ally, everybody in between, as those ones here with us. And we need each one of us to raise our voices and say, Sodom, not my story. We love strangers. We love each other. We love love. And we have a story to tell here. and a march to march with pride, with resistance, together for the love, for the pride we all dream of and deserve, and for the dignity of every single human on this planet. May we march today together and every day together. May we sometimes tear, and let us reap with joy. Blessed day.
So speaking of rainbow connections and the hospitality that our rabbi was just speaking about, I had a moment this past week that invited me into a rainbow connection, that extended hospitality to me, and I wrote a prayer of thanksgiving for it. And so what I'm about to present is a few minutes long prayer, and I invite you into that prayer in whatever way is comfortable for you. If it helps you to close your eyes, to picture the images, do that. If you want to keep your eyes open, do that. If it helps to focus on these amazing queer saints up here, do that. But I'm going to pray, and I welcome you to pray with me now. A prayer of queer thanksgiving. I sing praises to this little boy, no more than 7 or 8, who just pranced right up to me and interlaced his own tiny, nail-polished fingers with my own and cried out, "Twins!" I sing praises to his choice of glittery green, which perfectly complements my shimmery purple. I sing praises to his guts, his gumption, his presumption that I am a friend, a familiar, a fellow fairy, family, even though we've never met. I sing praises to the street that brings us together and to the fabulous whomever he, she, they will become. I sing praises to the well-coiffed mother bubbling over and teary-eyed as she exclaims, "He saw you all the way across the street and just had to say hello." I sing praises to the baseball-capped father looking on with quiet pride as he asks, "Do you paint yourself or do you have them professionally done?" I sing praises to the grandma and to the grandpa holding hands and smiling wide as they look one another in the eye and celebrate what their love has made. I sing praises to the dozens of witnesses to this family reunion, the ones who hurry by and the ones who slow down, the ones who look up from their phones to watch history being made, the ones who set aside their cynicism for one brief, shining moment so they can join in the smiles, join in the connection as I squeeze the tiny fingers of this 7 or 8-year-old unicorn and proclaim, "Twins." And I sing praises to the cloud of invisible witnesses that surrounds us. And in the singing and the praising, I feel them appear around us. This is fantasy, but this is real. This is fantasy, but fantasy is what painted our nails in the first place. I see Marcia, brick in hand, ready to take no shit. And Sylvia, microphone primed, ready to take us to task. I see Christine done up and glamorous, no hair out of place. And I hear Marlena and Sylvester and David crooning as Billy tickles the ivories. I see Langston and Lorraine and James and Oscar scribbling away as Jose and Eve and Michelle critique and queer and complicate. I hear Divine and Candy and Jackie and Andy and Hibiscus whispering, "Don't be so serious. Let this just be the silly thing it is." I feel the breeze as Alvin twirls by, and I feel the squeeze as Alan computes the logic of it all. I see Harvey and Audra and Michael and Harry and Gordon and Edie and Jane and Dick, satisfied and still nudging, content and continuing to fight. I hear Leonard and Howard composing a hit as Michael choreographs a group number and Frida lines us all up for what will surely be a kooky portrait for the ages. I feel the forces, see the faces of the famous and the foreign, and the cloud opens wider to reveal our mess of martyrs. I see Matthew and Brandon and Roxana and Joan and Allie. I see faces I've never seen before. I hear names I've never known. I hear voices I've never heard before shouting, "Twins! Twins! Twins!" We are nothing alike, and we are everything alike. We are on the street together, and we are more than worlds apart. We are a rainbow, and we are a cloud, born of color and tears, of triumph and tragedy, feeding the arc of a moral universe that has trampled us, even as we decorate the damn thing and teach it how to bend. We are serious and sassy, glittery and grim, furious and filled with fear that fools itself into fabulosity. We are everything I describe and nothing I describe. We are everything I see and so much I do not see. We can pick out one another on the street, and we can be strangers in the same parade. We are more than fits inside our ever-expanding initials, and we are only as much as we allow ourselves to be. We are a rainbow, and we are a cloud, bending and bursting, beautiful and terrifying. And I sing praises to the rainbow, and I sing praises to the cloud. I sing praises to the colorful progress, and I sing praises to the storm that shouts, "Progress is a myth. Stop acting so small. You are the universe in ecstatic motion." I sing praises to the universe that we are, to the rainbow that we've been, to the cloud we will all become, and I feel that word fizzing up inside me, though it often frightens more than frees. Family. I sing praises to this family that claims me for who I am and gently shoves me into who I can become. I sing praises to the saints who don't want to be saints, to the martyrs and the heroes who ask for none of the notoriety. I sing praises to the bloodless ties that keep us afloat until the blood ties catch up. I sing praises to the clouds that cry out, "Families belong together," and know that it means so much more than what some want it to mean. I sing praises to this fleeting moment on the street, a moment that begins between two nail-polished people and then prisms out, extending the rainbow, creating the cloud. We are twins, and we are nothing alike. We are seeking a tribe, and we are extending the tribe. We have so much to teach, and we have so much to learn. We have eternal praises to sing, and we have eternal thanks to give. Our greatest gift is the light of our color and the salt of our tears, as we recognize one another like children on the busy street and insist on saying, "Hello, I see you. I feel this between us, and I can't quite explain it." I sing praises to our gift of family recognition, and until all families bend to the love of difference, until this country bends to the love of family, I sing praises to the growing familial cloud. Rainbow saints painting paths for their yearning children. And I pray not with my own hands clasped together, but with my polished fingers interlaced with any other child I can recognize. Amen. Thanks for praying with me. Would you please give your attention to the Judson Choir as they sing an amazing rendition of Somewhere Over the Rainbow?